Hi guys, I just had quite an experience making unleavened bread, and the video is to come up next. The one thing that I want to kind of bring up, since this was my very first time attempting to make this recipe on my own, is when you're rolling out your dough, go very lightly on the flour, because you don't want your it's already just flour and water. So when you're rolling it out, you don't want a lot of flour on it, because it's going to, when you take it out of the oven, it's going to have a lot of flour on it, and you can just rub it off and all that. You don't want that. So I would suggest that you go very lightly on it. And another thing is that I saw on other videos when people made, because I was up quite late last night watching videos of people making matzo and unleavened bread and everything, and I saw people adding honey, they're adding different herbs and all these things to their unleavened bread, and I'm not quite sure if we should do that, especially for the Passover. I'm not sure if we should do that. So for me, for the Passover, I think that all that I'm going to do is add the water in the olive oil, and that's it. But as far as for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, I would try different things with it depending on what you're making. If you're making some type of dessert for the kids, you know, chocolate dip matzo or chocolate dip unleavened bread, I would mix that dough up, and you have to do it fairly quickly, as I explained in the video. I would mix like some brown sugar with it, a little vanilla with it, and you know, just make it your own. Make it so during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you know, make it somewhat enjoyable. But the whole thing is for us to keep the Feast of the Most High. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope that it's helpful to someone that's like me, not able to find matzah in Mississippi where I am. Okay, until next time, you guys, I love you. Bye. Hello everyone, this is Overcomer here, and I wanted to do this quick recipe on how to make unleavened bread for your Passover, just in case you don't, or you're not able to find any unleavened bread in your local supermarkets. Like myself, I live in Mississippi. I live in northern Mississippi, where I went to 2 stores last week, 2 super chain stores, Kroger's and Walmart, and neither one of them had matzah. So then I asked my daughter, who lives in Memphis, to go to one of the Kroger's in Memphis to find the matzah, and she was on the phone with me speaking with the manager at the store, and they gave her soup crackers, and I'm like, no, that's not it. So what we're going to do here, I watched quite a bit of videos on how to make your own homemade matzah, and it said that first we preheat our oven to 400 degrees, which I've already started. And the things we need, we want to keep the matzah as traditional as possible. And from start to finish, it's supposed to take 18 minutes to prepare your matzah, okay? Because you don't want, once that water and flour combine, you don't want the dough to proof. If it proofs, it begins to rise, and that means it will not be suitable for Passover. So we have to move fairly quickly when making matzah for a Passover. So these are the things that you're going to need for your matzah. You're going to need all-purpose flour. You can use any kind of flour you so choose, as long as it has no leaven in it. So we have all-purpose flour. We have extra virgin olive oil. I have a little salt. You can add a little salt to yours. And we have water. Now, one thing I suggest that you do, I'm just doing this for demonstration purpose only, but we know that when we're preparing bread for the Passover, everything has to be cleaned properly for the Passover. So me having nail polish on my hands, that will be a no-no for bread being prepared for the Passover. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Nail polish on your hands. I would even, this is just me, I would even suggest, taking off any rings or anything that you may have on your hands before you prepare your matzah for your family, or for your Passover. That just seems right. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna now what we have. If you don't have a food processor, you can do it, mix it with your hands in a bowl. But I'm going to do this with my food processor. So the first thing I'm going to show you is that I have my dough. This is my dough blade. I have the dough blade in. And I'm going to put the all-purpose flour in. The next thing I'm going to put in is a little salt. Okay, and now I'm going to put my lid on. Make sure it's down correctly and tight. Okay, so this is my dough button. You can't see it within the camera, so I'm going to take this out, and so I'm going to start pushing for my dough. Okay, now it looks a little crumbly, and what that means is that I'm going to need a little more water and a little more oil added to this mixture, because you want it to combine into a dough ball. So remember what I said, we have to work fairly quickly with this. Okay. If you see that it's kind of a little too wet, add more flour. Okay, there we go. Okay, like I was saying, if you see that it's a little too wet, add you a little bit more flour. Okay, so now what we're going to do, kind of flour your hands a little bit. Okay, there you go. You're going to take that dough and really fast, you're going to knead it just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. Now, be it that I don't have a dough blade, so what I'm going to use is just a regular kitchen knife. I'm going to half it, put that half to the side, and then this piece I'm going to cut it in Then I'm going to cut that in half, and then cut me 1, 2, make 4 sections out of it. Okay? So I'm going to put those to the side. I'm going to put a little bit more flour down. Okay? So now I'm going to take one of those little balls, take my rolling pin, and I'm going to begin to roll that out. Making sure you put a little flour on your rolling pin, okay? Make sure you work fast, but you want to get it, you want to get it right. And make it as thin as you would like. Okay? See how thin I got that? Really thin. And then what you would do, you would take your fork and you're going to punch holes all in that. And what that's going to do is keep that dough from forming air pockets. Just make as many as you can, as fast as you can. Okay, and then you're gonna take it, lay it on your sheet tray. Let's do the next one. We know that, when we're making bread for the Passover, everything, you already, before you make your bread or any dish for your Passover, you're to clean your complete kitchen. Clean the stove, under the stove, everything. Okay? Okay, guys, I want to show you my matzo that I made. Some matzos I made a little bit thicker than others. One matzah I made in my cast iron skillet, and I made it a little bit thicker, and this is it. And I would say, like this matzah that I made, I hope you can see those holes and everything. I would take this one, during the Passover, or during the feast of, no, not the Passover, but the Feast of Unleavened Bread. I would use this one like for pizza for the kids, or use this one for a sandwich that I'm going to make, because this one I rolled out just a little bit thicker. As you can see, it's much softer. See that? See how soft that is? Look at that. And it's much softer. But this right here, I made this one for the Passover. And it's much, much thinner, much, much browner, and it's crispier. Did you hear that? Okay. So yeah, I made this one for the Passover, and this was real good during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You can use it in dips. Use it for some dips or hummus, whatever you want to use it for. So yeah, that's me showing you guys how to make homemade matzah. I hope that this will be a help to someone. Until we see each other again, you guys, shalom and be blessed.